Okay, first of all, the bathroom is totally cleared out. No plumbing, no nothing. No washer and dryer. So what I'm going to do now is explain to you what's fixing to happen. I'm going to take care of this hole where the original bathtub was. I've got wood to replace these slats that have been cut. And when we go back in with the bathtub, I'll know where to cut my new holes for the tub drain. Second, I was talking the other day in the last video about how we have some uneven gaps and whatnot in some of these pieces of wood, and I want to get this as flat as I possibly can. So you can see I've got replaced right here because I figured out what this is. They cut this for some reason, probably to do some repair at some point on it. So what I've got to do is come in here and I'm going to replace this piece of wood from there to here. Because what it is, where they cut it, there's no structure under this, and you can see there's just no support under it. So I'm going to replace it from floor joist to floor joist. That's going to be my biggest repair. Everything else, like say this piece is loose, but it just needs to be shot down where it won't move around. Now this piece, it'll be a little bit more involved. For some reason, when I was cutting the plumbing out, I saw that there is a shim under this floor joist, under this piece of wood only. So I don't know what that is, but I figure that's why this piece of wood is higher than all the rest of them. So after we get that done, we'll be ready for plywood. And the only other thing after that, I have to come right here on the threshold of the door, and I'm going to cut this piece of hardwood just across here where like say your striker ends. That way you'll see the bathroom floor from here back, but when you close the bathroom door, you can't see the tile from under it. You'll just see the hardwood. So other than that, we're ready to be put back. We're ready to put some flooring down, or subfloor, top floor, and get started putting everything back. So let's get started on it. Okay, we've got everything trimmed, cut out to start putting stuff back. I got the door, the threshold across the door cut, so my plywood can slide directly up to the wall. Got this cut out to replace, so everything is good to go. And next time we'll be laying plywood. I'm going to do one more good cleaning from the sawdust that I got everywhere right here cutting all this wood up. But after that, we're going to lay some wood. We got the floor patched up here. Got the old hole for the shower patched up with these two pieces. We got this shim knocked out. All the subfloor is nice and level. So next up, we're going to be laying a vapor barrier and then some plywood. Underlayment, vapor barrier is down. I've got just a couple of adjustments to make on it here to get it up tight against the walls, but let's get to laying some plywood. First piece. My first piece, what I'm going to do, I've got it laid and put exactly where I want it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and attach it to the actual house. That way, if I hit it or bump it, bringing other wood in, it ain't going to matter. It's going to stay put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark around the perimeter. I'm going to mark every 6 inches, and that's where I'm going to attach it, is at every 6 inches around the perimeter. Okay, I've marked it 6 inches around the perimeter. I'm going to go ahead and put those screws in. I'm screwing this top floor down. There's a 1 inch of floor under this that's attached to the floor joists with nails. So I'm going to be screwing this top floor down. Then when I get the 6 inches, every 6 inches screwed down, I'm going to come back and I'm going to screw every 8 inches in the field. So it really doesn't matter, since this has floor under it, where you put your screws, because it's going to hit, you know, that floor no matter what. But I'm doing 6 inches around the perimeter and every 8 inches in the field. So say like right here, well, if I can get my tape in here. All right, so here's my 6 inch marks. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out 8 inches, 16 inches, 24, 32, 40, and then of course it'll have one at the end. So that way you've got real good attachment to the bottom floor. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw this piece down, that way it won't move anymore. Well, this is the piece I've been kind of dreading. It's not really a big deal, but I guess it worked out since it ended up being the last piece I'm cutting. So what I got to do, I have to drill a hole and get it around this gas line, because this is the gas line for my water heater, so it's staying. And this right here, that's a 6x6. It's part of the structural integrity of the house, so it's definitely staying. So what I've got to do, I've got to notch for this and cut a hole for that. So what I think I'm going to do is figure out my hole first. I know my lengths are right because it'll fit inside that. Okay. I want to get it where I want it first. Find my pencil. Okay, I'm going to make a mark at the center of that gas line and at each end. Like say if I notch this, that would slide around it. So then I'm not going to be able to do that on this next one because this is in the way. See, if I come up here and mark it this way, then my hole's going to be off about that 1 inch right there. So I'm just going to have to measure it where my hole needs to be from that side. So I'm going to get my board back close over here. And I'm going to put my big tail on it, that way it won't move. And I'm just going to measure out realistically from the edge of the wood, because that's where the hole's going to need to be. Because see, I have an expansion gap all along this wall, along all the walls. So I'm going to hook it over my piece of wood, and that is 3 inches to the center. So what I'm going to do is come up here, do just me a 3-inch mark, okay? Now that's really just in reference with this. It's the same thing. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the wall, this wall, and I'm going to get really close to that pipe, that gas line. So I'm going to touch the wall, kind of reference it showing 5 1/4 where the wood's laying. And then I'm going to come back 1/8 of an inch. That's my expansion gap, all right? So from that point, the center of the gas line is 4 1/2 inches. All right? So it's 4 1/2. So I'm going to come back, hook it over tight on my plywood, and make a mark at 4 1/2 inches. All right, and then I'm gonna check just to be sure that looks good. All right. So now I have my reference where that hole should be. Okay. We've got 3 inches from this side and 4 1/2 from this side. So what I'll do is I'll take my square and just make marks, and where those intersect, that'll be our center point for that gas line. Now I may end up notching it just to slide the plywood in and then add that piece back in on behind it, but we'll see. So now what I'm going to do is get my plywood back where I like it, and I'm going to do the same thing but for this 6x6 that I have to notch out. So I'm going to go, so this is sticking out from the wall 2 inches, so I know we'll go a little bit further. We'll go 2 1/16 or 2 1/8. Let's go 2 1/8. So I'm just going to mark on each side of my tape measure 2 1/8. All right. So now we're going to determine from that wall how much we need to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an arrow, really just anywhere, that tells me to measure from that end. See, I just wrote on there, measure this way from this end. And you could do it from either side, but I'm doing it from the wall. So I've got my plywood where I want it. From that wall, we're showing 14 3/4 and 20 1/4. But if I bring that out 1/8 for my expansion gaps, we're showing 14 5/8 and 20 1/8. So that's what I'm going to transfer. We're going to go get close to my 2 1/8 marks. We're going to go 14. Get my pencil right. We're going to go 14 5/8 and 20 1/8. And then of course I'm going to double check. And what I'll end up doing, I'll end up cutting these marks out. That way it's a little bit bigger than that. That way it's just not so tight. So let me go transfer these marks and get these cut out. And we'll see if it fits, hopefully. Oh. Okay, let's make these marks. I'm just going to use my speed squares because it's nothing big. I'll take my T-square just to connect these marks, because I don't think I have a finished edge and I can't cut straight, so we'll see how it works out. All right. So we've got that to cut out and this to cut out for our gas line, which this will have a circle kind of this way. So, but other than that, when we get this cut out, that'll be our last piece. Let's see if I can get down here. So see, this will be for our 6x6 cut out, and this will be for our gas line. So let me get these cut out and we'll move on. Right. It's the moment of truth. We'll see if my measuring and cutting skills are good. I can promise you they're not perfect, but I'm okay at it. Okay. So that's one that fits. Two. So that worked out perfect. And I've got, which I can adjust if I need to, but I've got good expansion gaps all the way around, which there isn't really going to be, there's not going to be much load over here. It'll just be the dryer on this side. So that's why I wanted the majority of my seams on this side. But other than that, I mean, that's all there is to it. Laying some plywood for your what I call top floor. I always call subfloor my first layer, and then my top floor is this, which is something I was taught, especially if you're going to be doing tile, you want a thicker base. I really prefer to do 3/4 plywood 2 times. That way you have 1.5 inches of, you know, solid floor. That's another reason I went ahead and screwed this every 8 inches in the field and 6 around the perimeter, because this piece is going to be carrying the most weight. It's going to have the bathtub and the washing machine on this piece of wood. So I wanted it to be solid with no seams, and I wanted it to be attached to the subfloor real well. The rest of it is, you know, it don't have to be as good as this one, but it's going to be, because I may be doing a little overkill, but it makes me feel better at the end of the day. Well, we've got the plywood down in the bathroom. Let's check this out. Everything's looking good. Really, the only thing I have left to do, which I'm not going to video it, is to put all them screws out in the plywood. But everything has went really smooth today. It's only been like a hour and a half since I started, and I mean, I had nothing prepped. All the wood was in the trailer. Everything was clean in here, and the vapor barrier was down. But we'll consider this part 1 of actually going back and finishing the bathroom. So I do have a few other things to do, such as I'm going to replace this dry box. So, you know, that stuff that's, to me, it's simple. It's just, if you have any kind of plumbing knowledge, it's not that bad. So I hope you've enjoyed the first episode of actually putting stuff back in the bathroom. And really, I'm no expert. I've never done this for a living. I've just kind of helped people, and they've kind of taught me some things over the years. So hopefully some of this will help you. I know I'm not very instructive, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. And if you've stuck with me through this video and I think there's 3 demo videos, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the views and the comments and all. So I'll see y'all in the next one.